In 1994, I had the honor of being inducted into the Texas Business Hall of Fame. It's now my distinct pleasure to welcome my friend Ross Perot Jr. to this esteemed group. Ross has taken on big challenges throughout his career, and we can only imagine how his leadership will benefit the United States in years to come. Please join me in welcoming Ross Perot Jr. to the 2011 class of the Texas Business Hall of Fame.
Ross Perot Jr. shares the name of one of the most famous businessmen in the world. He grew up watching his father invent the technology services business in his living room, collecting punch cards on Saturday visits to EDS. And every day, he would learn the ropes from his father, from oil and gas, real estate, technology, and even the most basic of business skills, horse trading.
At 13 or 14, I'd buy and sell horses with my dad. And I bought a horse for $1,000. And it was a great horse. I thought it was a great horse. And literally, about 6 months later, I was offered $5,000 for the horse. I mean, for a kid, that's huge. And I said, no, it's going to be worth $10,000. The next week, the horse died. And I thought, and to me, that was one of my earlier lessons that, if you make a profit, you better take it because you never know when that horse is going to die.
Ross Perot Jr. would hone his skills to become one of the most sought-after problem solvers of his generation. One of the best examples has been the Alliance program in North Texas, a 17,000-acre master plan community anchored by the world's first industrial airport.
Between the public and the private sector. It's probably the best example in our nation of a partnership where the private sector, public sector came together to build a very unique program that now has over 30,000 jobs. And we're only 25% developed. So we literally should have a couple 100,000, I hope a couple 100,000 people working on the Alliance project by the time we're through. Everything worked well, and we really did, that team performed really an economic miracle in that part of Fort Worth and that part of North Texas.
And after the success of Alliance, city fathers in Dallas saw an opportunity that only a Perot could make sense of.
They said, why are you in Fort Worth and not Dallas? You're a Dallas guy. They said, you got to find a project in Dallas. And so we looked at all these, I said, okay, well, we'll find something to do in Dallas. And so I looked all around Dallas, and the one project that was really broken, that played to our strengths, was the new arena.
Many of the brightest minds in real estate had thought Perot had lost his touch.
Nuts. All my peers just say, why in the world are you doing that? Power plants, grain silos, environmental waste dump. We had 30 feet of diesel fuel in the soil, but we took 30 acres of land that was not on the tax rolls. It's now on the tax rolls, and it's been a huge financial success for Dallas. So the basketball team, you needed the team to do the arena to clean up that part of town, and we really cleaned up the front door to Dallas.
Ross saw what could happen, was willing to take the chance and invest once he studied the situation and understood what the risk and rewards might be, and then once he's in it, he is in it.
Perot Jr. has always loved the most difficult challenges. And in 1982, a small article in the Dallas Morning News about an Australian helicopter pilot named Dick Smith leapt out during his breakfast.
I said, Dad, did you see the paper today? He goes, yeah, did you see that helicopter pilot? I said, sure. He says, so before I could tell Dad, let's go beat him, he said, let's go beat him. Because my dad loves big adventure. I said, it's exactly what I want to do. And then I was flying with a man named Jay Coburn, and Jay and I have been flying together for a couple of years, and Jay was one of these great Vietnam pilots. And I said, Jay, let's go fly this thing around the world. And of course, Coburn loved the idea. And so this was August 2nd, 1982. We took off September 1st of 82. And we had a fabulous team, went around the world in 30 days, passed Dick Smith within a week, and we became the first men to fly a helicopter around the world.
The helicopter that he piloted is now in the Smithsonian, and as well, again, 1 year out of college, President Reagan in 1982 gave the highest presidential award to Ross Perot Jr.
He has the rare ability to compartmentalize his vast business interests and has reflected on his swift change to head Perot Systems after his father had sold what he refers to as the sixth member of the family, EDS.
We had to really organize our real estate business. Because of the S&L crisis and all the other issues, we had a lot of partners in trouble, so we had to clean that out. We had to get the oil business, focus on that, and really get it moving well. And we sold the oil business a couple of years after we sold EDS. And then, a couple of years after EDS, we started Perot Systems. So all of a sudden, we're back in the technology business, and then we had our investment company. And so I never really had a choice on what to do. I had to do it all, and I was fortunate to be able to do it with my father. And so you look over a 20-year period, I rode 3 of the bubbles, up and down. And I think I realized that when times are good, they're not as good as people think. And when times are bad, it's not as bad as people think. And if you can make a profit in your business, take the profit. And as I tell a lot of people, if you win the lottery, don't rip up the ticket.
And because Ross Perot Jr. has seen the ups and downs of business cycles through almost every business, he is strong in his faith about the business future of Texas.
Optimism is critical. You've got to believe in the future. You've got to believe in our country. It's still the greatest country in the world. Our best days are in front of us. And I'm convinced America, one more time, will reinvent ourselves and we'll get back to full employment. The biggest challenge we had at Perot Systems in 05, 06, 07, everybody was worried we were out of people in our country. We were at full employment. We couldn't find the technology workers. We couldn't find the skills. And all of my peers in business were saying, woe is me, what are we going to do? We're out of workers in the United States. Well, that was only 4 or 5 years ago. I'm convinced we can put together an economic development program and policies that I bet in 4 or 5 years, we're back on our feet, we're in full employment, and all the business leaders are worried about, oh my gosh, where am I going to find the people to do the work?